Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. Aries, Aries, Aries. This is your reading tonight. And so we have our card, which I pull a card to start every reading just to kind of take a vibe check. And we have the 10 of Discs. This is maybe one of the best cards we can get, right? At least appearance-wise. This is all about wealth. It's all about kind of all of your dreams coming true. You know, the family, the house, the dog, the money, the 50 cars, and swimming pools on the roof, and, you know, maybe all those things. I don't know. But yeah, it is. It's about things coming together. You know, and if you had planned on that, or if it kind of just happened, you found yourself in this position, it doesn't matter. But then again, we are talking about the discs. So it does kind of make one assume that there is a lot of hard work behind this. And we're talking to an Aries, so I do know that you work probably harder than most signs. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to turn this bowl around. And we lift this up here, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look. And I wanna tell you how much I appreciate you for clicking on this reading, checking it out. If this is your first reading, welcome to the channel. It's so nice to meet you. And if you are returning, welcome back. It's totally my honor. I'm so giddy. I'm so happy to be able to read for you again. Okay, so we do have a Sagittarius energy. We can see that right up here. Here's the top human part of the body, and then the rest of the horse, right? And even looks like they're carrying the bow. You can kind of see right here, like the bow and arrow. And here's the arrow, and you can kind of see the top there. So definitely Sagittarius energy. Now, who this is, I don't know yet. We're going to keep looking. So we have, it looks like M. Let me see. I'm going to look at this way. We have M. T-E-A-S, maybe? Ooh. This one does say yes. It says yes. Y-E-S, yes. Now we also have a lot of dogs. I'm seeing dogs everywhere. This one's eating out of... You can see, here's the head, and its mouth is kind of in here. It's like drinking water or eating. We have a dog here. 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 So I feel like when we have the dog, this is all about friends. Good friends. It could be family. But it's really about the loyalty. It's about that kind of like, man's best friend. But oftentimes it's not necessarily an animal companion, but somebody in your life, right? And so this leads me to believe this is about a friends group, okay? Now, we have the Sagittarius person in there. And I almost kind of wonder if this is somebody that you used to live with. And I say that because as we turn this, it looks like a house. This looks like a house when it's kind of on its side there. And so I feel like you live together in some capacity. Maybe you grew up together, you lived in the same house. Maybe this is like a roommate. Maybe you were in the dorms together. Maybe you were in a relationship and you lived together at some point. And maybe, I mean, gosh, maybe you're still living together. Maybe you're married, you know, or in a long-term relationship, or this could even be like your kid or something, whatever. Some reason for you to be living under the same roof. Now, I feel like this is a person nobody likes. Nobody likes. In fact, I feel like, and you can see the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and it just immediately reminds me of like a Simpsons character frowning, right? I don't know which one, but kind of just in that style. And I feel like it's like you might as well be harboring a fugitive, right? Or I don't know if this is like you are returning to this friendship, to this closeness with this person, the Sagittarius person, or maybe you've been in a relationship the whole time, and you know, you just like you go through bad periods and you get back together, or you stay together, things get better and then they get worse, and they get, you know, just kind of this cycle. And everybody around you just kind of, you know, like, when are you going to leave this person? What are you doing talking to them again? Why are you bringing them back around? Why would you ever trust them again? Don't you remember what it was? You know, all these kinds of things that, listen, if our daughter came home with some person that treated them poorly, I'm going to remember that till the end of time. I'm never going to get over that. I'm never going to forget about that, you know? But at the same time, I understand what it's like to be the daughter, right? Where you have this person that you love, that you have a life with, and they suck. And honestly, you suck when you're with them, you know? And it's hard to like gain perspective. It feels like everybody around you is just kind of picking on you. And it's like, why can't you just like him? I love him, or, you know, or her, or them, or whatever. And yeah, everybody else is kind of just sees like, this is bad news. They're bad news. So we have all of those, the dogs kind of rallying to try to get you to come to your senses. Like, do not engage with this person again. Don't accept their Facebook friends requests. Do not answer the text, you know? Or again, like I said, if you're in a relationship, it's just kind of at some point, people just have to give up, right? You can't save somebody if they're unwilling to save themselves, right? You can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. And you know, I don't think that you can just go in and pull somebody out of an environment and make them leave. I think that's kidnapping probably. So, you know, it puts you in a hard position. And I feel like for you, you are in this place where you're kind of being driven by your passions, by your love, honestly, it is. You have a very open and forgiving heart. You're somebody who gives people chances. In this case, though, I feel like you just got to be careful. And I don't want to like pile on, but we have 2 scorpions. Actually 3. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 scorpions. And I feel like this is very much related to who this person has in their life. Like, they're just surrounded by opportunistic people. People that will do whatever they gotta do, right? No morals, no ethics, just purely running game, right? And so, and as I look at this, look at what it says. It looks like it says B, right there, B-Y-E, buy. It is. It's just like there's no question. I'm sorry, but there's no question at all that this person does not belong in your life. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I know that you know what to do. So just think about it, right? At least consider it. Don't open that text. Okay, so we also have Saturn right here. We have the symbol for Saturn. And we have the name Ray. Ray might be a Capricorn, or I don't know that it's zodiac related. The Saturn aspect feels like this is an older male, kind of grumpy, kind of takes their time with stuff, but so powerful, intelligent, just like a very well put together person. And I feel like this particular person in your life, this is like you manifesting them. And it might be that their name's not even Ray. Maybe it's like a ray of sunshine, right? But I feel like what is really going on here, and we have a camel down here, so this even, it solidifies this in my mind. This is so much about wanting something deeper with somebody. It's not even so much about like a romantic relationship, but to be heard, right? For somebody to listen to you, to have deep conversations, to feel like you are connected on many levels. You know, when you're young and you're like in college or high school or, you know, going out into the world for the first time, I feel like it's so much easier to make friends and to also have these moments where, you know, you're sitting around, you're up at 3 a.m, just talking and, you know, kind of philosophizing about the universe and this and that. And you feel like this is going to last forever. I'm always going to be able to have these kinds of connections. And you get older and busier and you know, maybe have less friends or opportunities to meet people. And the ones you do meet, they're like on the same, you know, kind of grind as you are. And it's hard. It's hard. And it's hard to get to that place. We become so like calcified with, you know, like this hard shell that we create to kind of keep us safe in life. And, you know, you find yourself saying less or opening up less or, you know, not wanting to, you know, make somebody uncomfortable or feel silly or, you know, or even just share, you know. I don't know. I feel like I'm way more private as an adult, like a full adult now. I'm a lot more private about stuff. I am way less like willing to just go out there and share everything, you know, in real life. Of course, here I'm just talking to all of you and I will say whatever I say. But yeah, so I feel like with the camel, you know, the camel has these, are they stomachs or I don't know, compartments where they keep water, right? And we all know this about camels. They can go long distances in arid places because They do. They retain this water, and they don't get dehydrated very quickly. So symbolically, this is very much about having those sacred waters stored up. Like you have spent a lot of time growing yourself emotionally, having emotional intelligence. And I feel like, you know, with that comes often the desire to connect with others who are on the same tip, right? And so I feel like this is like a sacred union. Now, again, I don't think it's romantic necessarily, but I feel like this is like a really important relationship for you, okay? And so I feel like if you know who this Ray person is, or if you meet them soon, and you know, you feel comfortable with them, I would take that chance. I would open up. I would say the things that I'm afraid to say, you know, share about those dreams and those, you know, silly thoughts, and about, you know, the stuff that happened when you were a kid that you don't ever share with anybody, or, you know, whatever it is. Let yourself just flow. You know, I don't care if this is like some person that you meet for, you know, one time, you're sitting on the bus bench together waiting for the bus and you start talking, or, you know, maybe this is somebody that you end up spending every day for the rest of your life next to. I don't know, but I do feel like this is an opportunity for you to unlock a part of yourself, to practice sharing, to practice taking up space, you know, of being heard, right? Instead of always being the one that's listening, being with somebody or around somebody who will stop and listen and not interrupt you, okay? And I feel like that's definitely a wonderful vibe when you can find that. And it's rare. It's rare. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to flip this. No, we're not going to do this one anymore. We're going to go over here. I want to look at this over here. And it looks like we have the name Ava, maybe. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to crack my fingers on here. I'm always like trying to stop myself. I was never a person that like cracked my joints until like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Now I can't stop myself. Oh, it's also spade. On one side it looks like Ava. The other side looks like it says spade. So we know that the spades are related to the swords. And the swords are related to air and to mind. So I just keep getting this feeling that so much of what you are wanting and motivated by right now is this thing that you have to say, this thing that you have to share. And it's actually pretty interesting because I was just, when I first started doing readings publicly, I got into kind of working on creative writing, just for myself, and also just to kind of expand my vocabulary and, you know, maybe like using phrases and things that maybe would be helpful for my readings, and, you know, just to kind of push the boundaries of my mind, and to also figure out how I could articulate some of the things I was feeling or experiencing or whatever. So it's interesting because I feel like this is a similar impulse. And maybe I didn't say all this, but I'm going to start writing again. I feel like I just need something to kind of, I feel locked up in my mind a little bit. I feel like I have a little bit of a blockage going on. And so, yeah, I actually was getting out my writing stuff out of my closet. It was all still packed from when we moved last year. And so when I see this spade and I'm just feeling like this desire, like I want somebody to hear me. I want to connect with somebody. I need, this place of depth. I'm tired of all of this surfacey stuff, right? And I feel like in getting to a place where you're meeting somebody where you can have that kind of connection, I feel like it's a great opportunity to take that even further and to start communing with self and start writing it down, painting it, making it into music, whatever it is, right? Using that force that you have going, exploring what is it that you have to say. How many directions could you take it in? What can you do with all of that? And so I hope that you consider, and if not creative writing, maybe journaling or something like that. That journaling seems a little more accessible than, writing fictional type stuff. But all of it is worthwhile, in my opinion. I think more people should be writing as much as they can, right? As often as you have time or the will to do so. All right, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. We have number 7, number 76, and 11. And we will finish with our gratitude affirmation cards. And I'm going to stop where it feels right. Here we go. Royal feast. I enjoy delicious food. Today, I delight in every bite as if I am feasting at a royal table. I savor the flavors, the energy, and the pleasure from eating foods I love. Practice during your meals. Try closing your eyes, focusing and enjoying every bite. I'm sorry, but I love this card. Obviously, it is good advice. It's something wonderful to think about, but it just made me think of Game of Thrones, There's 2 feast scenes that are pretty wild on, if you haven't seen it, go watch Game of Thrones. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyways, Aries, I love you. Thank you for being here with me today. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, please take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days from now. Good night. Good night.